Hello and welcome to the Blackout Podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I have someone I've been dying to talk to. Entrepreneur, immigration consultant,
Yes.
just pretty awesome. But and fashionista also. Duntan, Salvador, thanks for coming to the podcast today.
I did try my best.
She's saying it.
You know, I could do better.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I could. But
Thanks for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm Nigerian, you're Nigerian, and one of the things, like, in any WhatsApp group I'm with Nigerians, is like how life is getting a little bit difficult and people are trying to move, but that also leaves way for people to get scammed a lot.
Exactly.
So why did you decide to start your consultant agency, and how did the process to set it up?
So, we moved to Canada in 2018. However, my passion for immigration started way before then. So I had my kids in the States, and my first child was born in Maryland. It was a nightmare.
What was the nightmare?
Maryland.
No, like, what made it a nightmare?
Having the baby, knowing the right things to do. There was so much advice from different people. You got to do this, you don't want to do this. And then getting the right hospital that would, that allows you to pay out of pocket.
Right.
So there are some hospitals that no matter what, even if you want to pay out of pocket, you're still going to pay the same lump sum as someone who has insurance.
Oh.
As opposed to some hospitals, when they find out that you don't have insurance, they kind of discount it, because they know that you're going to be paying cash, So when we had a baby in Baltimore, we spent quite a lofty amount of money, because at that time, that was our first time, was actually even like my very first time in the States. So it was very, very, very confusing. So by the time we were going to have the second baby, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to allow what happened to me the first time ever happen to me again. Immediately we got back to Nigeria. I started researching, I started looking for different things, hospitals, the state that is much better, easier, cheaper, stuff like that. And that kind of, perked my interest into immigration. So with immigration, it's mostly, well, I'm not going to say mostly, but there's a lot of research that goes into it. So I then, that kind of just perked my interest, to immigration. So at that time, I started, after I had the baby, Angela, my first daughter,
Oh, you have two girls?
No, I have a girl and a boy.
Oh, okay.
And then, I started to kind of help people, just pro bono, not paid or anything. Like, if you wanted to,
wow.
Yeah, I helped quite a number of people, that wanted to go have their baby in the States. This was after I had my son. So by the time I went to have my son, I had it in Henry Cove in Virginia. I found a good hospital, very lovely. They were offering great discounts for people who are out of country or out of state, and I had quite a few of my friends that went there because of me. Fast forward to, I think 2016, we started hearing about Canada. One of my husband's friend was talking about, he was moving to Canada, and he was kind of pushing my husband, and my husband was like, no, we don't want to go there. It was Canada, it was this, it was that. No, it was 2015, I think.
Okay.
And once again, I started researching, I checked, and I just found Nova Scotia, and I was like, okay. Everybody was like, where's Nova Scotia? What is this? Where is this place? And At that time, Nova Scotia was the only province that was doing a provincial nomination program that allowed, that got my husband's knock.
Oh, and the knock
It's
is
very
like,
important. It's an essential
right.
aspect.
That's that number that kind of says what industry you are in.
Yes, so the knock is like, it's called the National Occupation Classification.
Okay.
So it's what is used to classify each job. So there's a number for
Right.
each job. Like for instance, maybe a cook. There's a knock for that.
Right.
So it's classified across Canada. It's the same knock for a cook across Canada. At that time, his was like financial representative. So he's a banker. Anyways, we did the whole application. I did the whole application, the whole process by myself with help from him. It was a very tedious application. I'm not even gonna. It took us 2.5 years to come to Canada.
What made it so difficult with the...
Filling the forms, submitting it, answering questions. We got additional documentation. There was a lot of things that, happened along the line.
So if I recall, they don't have like... Is that like, I don't know if it's the embassy or high commission, but one of them wasn't in Nigeria. You had to go to Ghana or something?
Yeah, so it's a little more complicated than that.
Oh, okay.
So when you submit an application in a country outside of Canada, a lot of countries have embassies, or I'm going to say, embassies, or is it embassies we'll call them? Visa processing centers.
Okay.
Nigeria doesn't have one.
Oh.
The closest is Ghana.
Right. Which is kind of backwards because Nigeria is way bigger than Ghana, but okay.
I don't know why that's happening.
Okay.
That's a Nigerian government thing. So when you submit your application, it goes to... So there's different visa processing centers that are assigned to Nigeria because we don't have one.
Oh.
So your application could go to Ghana, or it could go to London, or it could even come to Nova Scotia because there's one in Sydney.
Right. Yes.
So it depends. So a lot of people don't like going to Accra, Ghana because it's a bit laid back. Yeah.
Also, it's hot.
Well,
It's hot. It's very hot.
I've been to Ghana a few times. I don't know. It's a little laid back.
Okay.
I want to say so. Yeah. The
Let's just say
application
it's not Lagos.
It takes a longer time, than other processing centers. Anyways, we moved to Nova Scotia eventually, and then...
Did you move straight to Halifax?
Yeah,
Okay.
straight to Halifax, straight from Nigeria, and we came here. And then when we moved here, the initial plan was that he would start working because we had 2 little kids at that time. My daughter was soon to turn 5, and my son was still like 1 year, 2 months. So, our plan was, he would work for a few months and then I would stay with the kids at home, pending when my son would be able to start pre-primary, something like that. And then, towards the end of the year, because we moved February 2018, I started researching
Wait, you
once
guys moved
again.
in winter?
Yes. Yes. It was a very, very terrible time. I can't forget.
Oh my
We
God!
moved on the day we came to Nova Scotia. I was in the car and I was carrying my son in my hand. And when you're coming from the airport,
Right.
it's so bleak. There's no light on the expressway. To people who are non, that are Canadians that are not from Africa. In Africa, in Nigeria, there's light posts everywhere. Whether you need it or you don't need it, there's shine lights there, shine. So imagine you're coming from the airport and, everywhere is just dark and bleak. And you're just in the bush and you're just wondering, where is this place we are going?
Right.
And when we got there, of course, we never envisaged how cold it was going to be. So the next day, of course, we need to go get our scene and all those things. My son was in the stroller. My husband did not wear a jacket.
What the fuck?
I wore a jacket. I didn't wear gloves.
Oh my God!
So,
in February!
Fucking hell. We were frozen.
Yes!
We missed the bus twice. At one point, I started checking if my son was still breathing because he looked
God!
like, when you're so cold, he was now lethargic. I was like, the hell did we get ourselves? Like, we now started like switching, like I'll take the gloves, give one to him, you give one to me. It was like, at a point in time, I was like, okay, we need to take a taxi. Then getting a taxi, it was just chaos. The next time we were going out, I said, please don't forget your jacket. Like we were like Eskimos the next time we're going. And, I'm not going to lie, I cried that day. Because when we got back home, I was just like,
what?
What the hell is this place? It was so cold.
Yes.
So cold. Like, my husband was like, we were at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give him one glove, he'll take one glove, and then I'll put one hand. Then my daughter was just like, she was crying, but when you're cold, the tears are not coming out. I'm like, yes, this one has said, this is it. No. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And then the next day, it actually snowed.
Right.
So when my husband said he woke up in the morning, because we got an Airbnb somewhere in the north end, and like he opened the door, I don't know, I think he went outside, and there was just these blankets of white everywhere. When it first snows, like it looks so beautiful.
Pretty, yeah.
And also bleak.
Yes, because like by 4 is already night.
Oh my God. Jesus. And then the silence.
Yeah.
Everywhere is quiet. I know. That silence, adjusting to that silence, I think it took me a whole year. To wake up in the morning and you're not hearing, you're just hearing birds chirping. You don't hear birds chirping in Nigeria.
Everything is
Everywhere is noisy. People are hooting, someone is yelling at the door. Something is happening. But yeah.
Oh my God. You should have mentioned you came February. Okay, so, but I mean, you got used to, actually, I lie. You can't get used to winter. You just like, summer is coming soon.
I'm going to be honest, I prefer winter.
To be fair though,
Yeah.
because like, I'd rather it snow than it rain.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I detest rain in winter because then it's everywhere is mushy and yucky and brown. Ugh, disgustingly ugly.
Yeah.
But when it snows, it's so beautiful.
Oh, and another thing I gotta say though, the air kind of feels crisp when you're breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Nova Scotia weather there.
I love it.
I love it, and it smells like, I don't know, winter is my favorite time because then you get to bundle up, you look nice.
But that's where the fashionista also comes in.
Like I said, I do well. I think I could do better.
You guys, like, at what point, having that experience in February, moving and stuff, but at what point did Halifax, Nova Scotia start feeling like, okay, this is our home now?
I'm going to say that would be during COVID.
Oh, wow. What happened?
That was when we were moving into our first home. That was when I kind of told my husband, Diploma, that, I just feel like I don't think I can live anywhere else. No, I think I lie. I lie. Like our first apartment, when we first moved, because we got an Airbnb in the North End. We've lived in the North End the whole time we've been in Canada. And I don't know if you know the North End. It's like, we used to live in, I grew up in Festac in Nigeria.
I grew up in Festac.
Oh, come on, Israel. Come on. You're shitting me.
No. I lived in 22 Road, 512 Road,
Stop,
21
I lived in
Road.
51.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. We'll circle back to that part there. No, well, the North End is like Festac.
Right. It's so artistic.
It is exactly like Festac. So, I don't need to go anywhere to get anything. It's just right behind me there. I want to go out nightlife downtown. I'm there. I want to buy groceries. It's all around. So like when we moved into the Airbnb, you know, we were once again getting a lot of advice, different things. I'm a person that I usually just do my thing. My husband is same, but he's more diplomatic and politically.
He's a banker, so
Yeah, I'm more of a radical woman that does the opposite of
I mean,
things.
look at the hair, obviously.
Yeah. You know, this head only just came about 2 years ago, actually. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think when we moved into the apartment on Lindley Hammond was when, you know, I kind of felt like this could be home. This could be home. But when we eventually moved to our townhouse on same Lady Hammond, he kind of nailed it. That house we call it the goose. It's the perfect place. It's close to bus stops. You can actually even walk downtown if you want to from there. It's everything. That kind of nailed my feeling of home in Halifax.
Wow.
That house.
Okay, so did your husband get a job in a bank right away? We have a couple of Nigerian women and their faces.
Nova Scotia. You know that it's only just now, like after COVID, that you know new immigrants are coming in, are getting it so easy that you just get a job off the bat. You know, you just go, you apply, you get that. It wasn't like that when we first came.
Yeah.
Like Nova Scotia, I love Nova Scotia. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful province. But Haligonians are very clannish.
Right.
They're very, very clannish. If they don't know you, forget about it. You know. So it's the same thing, you know, when it comes to getting a job, you know, if you excuse me, your name, our names, our ethnic names, it was really difficult for me to get a job, you know. And for my husband, he didn't get the bank off the bat. He started up with Eastlink, and then he went on to TD Insurance. But he's a go-getter. He was determined to get that banking job, and he got it. He did not let go. For everybody that he met, he would say, "Hey, I want to be in the financial sector. Can you hook me up?" Like he would. There's nothing he didn't do, and eventually it paid off. He's working in Scotiabank now.
Oh, nice.
He's the senior financial advisor there.
That's the people that tell you where to keep your money. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it took him a while to get a job for you, because like, were you working, and how did you now transition from like office job to now
I
starting your
never
own
worked
business?
in an office before I started. Well, I worked in an office after I got my license, but before then, like that's why I was going at towards the end of the year when we came, like 2018. I started doing caregiving. I started a care job. I was personal caregiver because it was able to afford me to. I worked at nights,
Oh, right. So you could be
so
with
I
the
could
kids.
be with the kids during the day, and then he would work during the day, and then when he comes back, I go. So, but then I started to research the immigration consultant route. You know, we looked at, that was really one of the reasons why I also started working, because of money. It was quite expensive. It was about almost $20,000, the course and everything.
So I didn't even know you need to get a license to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. I'm a licensed, regulated Canadian immigration consultant.
Holy shit. So like, if a friend is in Nigeria, I was like, whatever, that is kind of one step to keep yourself from getting scammed, right?
Yes.
I just asking the person, are you licensed? Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. you must ask the person if they are licensed. I have a license number. You have to do an exam. You have to pay dues to the body that governs our
Wow.
yeah.
Holy
Every
smokes,
year
okay.
you have to pay license fee every year.
So this thing that you were kind of doing for free for your friend
That
for
was
years,
way back.
yeah. You now find out you have to do a license, and then like, did you know once you do that license that you just start your own business or?
So, essentially the reason why, I decided to go to school and, fully get licensed was because I realized that it's something that I really, really do love. I love talking to people.
Right.
I love helping people. I have a friend, she's in Winnipeg now, and literally, like I was the one that helped her out with her whole process. Like she used to live in Ibadan and she came directly to my house. We set up her profile just to help her out with her application. And she, she's in Canada now. She's even a Canadian as well. And I realized that it was something that I really, really did enjoy doing. And then I decided that, you know what, why not I just get paid for this? Why not I just make this legal? Because in Canada, it's illegal for you to help someone to do the application without the person, stating that
Yes,
you did
there is
that.
a form you have to fill to authorize someone to do that. Yeah.
You must say. So in my instance, when I was doing that, I was just giving advice. They were doing their thing, because it's something that I have done many, many times. So I was giving advice, but they would do their thing. But I decided that, you know what, I want to start doing it for people so that I can also get money. At that time, I wasn't really thinking that it was going to be like my full job yet. At that time, I'm going to be really, really honest. We were still thinking maybe like, well, okay, 5 years projection, and my husband is very wonderful in his advice, and in everything. He was also very key and instrumental in this my path, because it's not easy. I studied for almost 2 years, like a year and a half. I was in school.
Get out of here! I thought it was like a 1 weekend thing, and you get.
1 weekend, okay. This man playing.
No, really.
What?
2 years? Holy
Are
shit!
you kidding?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Immigration. I read immigration law.
Holy smokes.
Like I went to school
Right.
to read immigration law. Like I practiced. It is hard for someone that doesn't know anything about law.
Right.
It was crazy. Like I was like a zombie for like the whole of 2019 into 2020.
You did it during COVID too.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. I drank a lot during those times. I drank so much alcohol.
You're like, I need to get it out.
It was so crazy. Like, no.
Okay, so how did it feel when, I guess, you do the exam and they're like, yeah, it's your license now. How did it feel?
Relieved. I think I can read again. What? Children fries off your brain cells.
Right.
How I passed is still a mystery today.
No, you put in the work,
Oh,
obviously.
I did a whole lot. Like, there will be nights my husband will come on and he will say, "You are still reading." I'll say, I will not read. $20,000. My brother, it's a lot of money.
A ton of money, yeah.
Oh my God. No. And then there was so much, writing on it. I don't want to disappoint him, or my family. I had a lot, like I have people who they did the exam like 3 times.
Wow.
Before they could pass the licensing exam. No, and I didn't want to. I wanted to pass it once and, just be over it, because the exam was 4 hours. Look, when I see some people who...
So, you did the exam during COVID. Was it now all online? Or?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you have to be in a room that you're just by yourself.
God damn. And then they have like something...
that is checking you out. And
yeah.
the exam itself is not even graded.
Oh.
Yes, it's pass or fail.
Oh.
Yes. And it doesn't end there. Also, if you pass, like, So with immigration, there are different aspects. There's family, there's provincial, there's citizenship, there's temporary, business. If you pass only in some parts and you fail heavily in
You
some
fail
parts,
everything.
you are failed. Though.
Holy smokes.
Aha. So
So
that
you kind
one
of have
today.
to know all these things.
Yes.
And they will ask questions from all the aspects, right? So
Yes.
you kind of have to read everything.
Yes.
You can't be like, I'll just focus on this one.
Never. And immigration is so broad, so complex. It's not what you see on the internet that they'll be like, oh, chalala, you can do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so now...
Believe that at your own peril.
I see some TikToks, I'm like... I mean, I knew how long it took to do it. And now I see some TikTok, I'm like, I don't know if these people know what they're talking about. So.
They don't.
Yeah, it's like... it doesn't sound right to me. And like, you know, you can do it yourself, but I think you still need like at least someone
you need to be really, really like research, know what you're doing, and don't just think that one size fits everybody. No. When it comes to immigration, what works for you might not work for me. You know, your application might be so straightforward that you don't even need to put anything. You don't even need to think about it. While some people, it's so complicated that even two consultants may have to work on your case. You know, it's not as one, it's like am I going to say a la carte? No, not a la carte. What's that word to say? You know, it's not the same thing that fits everyone. It's like couture.
Oh, right. Like your dressing.
This Mr. I'm just a normal gay.
Okay.
That just likes fashion.
All right. Okay. Did you start your business right away once you got licensed?
No, not at all. So once I got my license, I was working at Manulife at that time. Yes, I was working at Manulife. Yeah. Yes. And my brain is very easy. I forget things. So I have my husband. Remembers things for me.
Right.
Anyways, before getting the license, we had like discussions as to how the practice would start. So as you well know, the immigration world is quite competitive with the quacks and also the legal people. Everybody, it's like a jungle. And because I didn't have experience yet, representing so many people by myself, we decided that, perhaps I'll look for a company that I would work with that needed the services of a consultant, or they already had their own consultants and they needed like an additional one so that I could, hone my own skills, because I want to say I'm not going to say I'm a perfectionist, but something close to that. I like everything being perfect.
Right.
And I didn't want a situation whereby I'll put my candidates in a situation whereby when I start an application, because of lack of experience, I wouldn't be able to complete it. Luckily, I was able to get a company to work with. I think I got that job in 2022 after I was still doing some applications, not a lot, like students, temporary, people that wanted to do, they already had maybe like advice, something like that. But when I joined that company, it opened up a whole lot of experience for me. I got so much experience with foreign workers, with employers, because I worked in the HR aspect. So I got about 8 months work experience with that company. And then decided that, this year, we were already thinking 2023 was going to be a year that we wanted to try and branch out, and then in January, decided to take that big jump and start doing my own full business. I'm not going to lie, it's been a roller coaster since then.
In what way?
Oh, so much um, expansion.
Oh, so
Yes,
growth. Okay.
growth. The projection that we had, we surpassed it.
Holy shit.
So we have to move some stuff to 2024.
Right. Yeah.
So this London trip essentially was supposed to be earlier in the year, but we pushed it because we have so much on our plate. And then we decided that the London trip is basically, to meet our quota for next year.
Let's talk about the London trip. What is happening there? Also, that country is so expensive.
Yeah. I know, right?
But let's talk about the London trip.
So London, what our aim is to, there are a lot of people in the UK who, because I have friends who live in the UK, and they've indicated to me, they've reached out several times to me, to my husband. We have a business development officer, as well as an IT person. And they've reached out. We've had so many communications, and we also have clients who are from the UK who have expressed interest, to moving, because the UK, I think their immigration routes it's a little bit complicated and much longer than the Canadian one. And, people would want to move here. I'm not even talking only about Africans. I'm talking about a lot of nationals, and they feel like, well, I feel like Canada is much better,
I agree.
Yeah, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of jobs, in terms of even economy, I think.
One thing I have to actually ask you. So you've had experience of being in a hospital in Nigeria, being in a hospital in America, all these different countries. How was your own experience of going to a Canadian hospital? They do everything and then you leave and they don't ask for money. How was the experience for you when that happened? I'm curious.
It's so beautiful.
I know, right?
Beautiful. Like you just walk in, show your card, and walk out.
I know.
As opposed to America, we pay almost $30,000 for my daughter.
No, so when people are like, oh, Canada, I'm like, you know what? You will get used to the winter, don't worry.
Whatever.
But because I had a serious thing, I was in the hospital for a while, and I was just thinking, if I was in a different country, two things would happen. I'll have to pay a lot, I'll be dead. Straight
One
up.
of those two.
So,
yes.
But then, I mean, in, out, I'm okay, and it's like...
a lot of people complain about the healthcare, the wait time. Yeah, it could be a little better. But, when you're having to not pay, I know we're paying taxes and all that, but even though, are you not paying taxes in Nigeria?
Any country. Also, the other thing is that, to be fair, if it's serious, they're
on it.
Yes.
They are on it. Like, we went to the United Kingdom in April for our anniversary. I'm asthmatic. I have severe asthma. So I had an asthma attack on the plane coming back. And before we were on ground, the ambulance was there. I was taken right into the hospital, to the closest place. Like, they did so many tests. Like, it was very efficient. There wasn't anybody was asking you, oh, bring your eye, bring your leg. No. It was very, very straightforward. When it comes to emergency, they're
right on it. Yeah.
That's the only thing.
No, so, I mean, obviously, yes, there's wait times for things, but if they make you wait, I think you should be like, okay, I'm not dying now, right? It's when they rush you that you should be like, oh, shit.
Bleeding. Or maybe one bone is sticking out and nobody's answering you. Maybe.
Okay, so the London trip, what is going to happen? How long are you going to be there?
So, I'm going a week ahead to, just try and take a look at things and make sure that everything is on ground. Although the business development officer had also gone a few months back, we're in October, right? In August. basically, we're just gonna do like 3 free seminars in 3 different cities. 24th is in Birmingham, 26th in Manchester, and 28th in London. Just to talk about the different immigration pathways, and then anyone that wants to have like a one-on-one immigration consultant session with me, that might be a paid one.
Right.
Like
I
a
mean,
talking,
it can't be might. It has to be paid.
It will be,
Okay.
but it's just not gonna be like there will be a discount.
Right.
Like if you want to ask like in-depth questions, yes. But the seminar is basically gonna be about the different pathways, a few prominent ones right now, and also why you should choose us to be your immigration company.
See, talking about that, you mentioned foreign workers, all these students, which is like the fastest.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
No such thing as fastest.
Okay.
Every path is very relative to every person.
Oh.
There's no such thing as fastest. I know people always want to say, what's the quickest way? What's the fastest way? Some people, immigration, like I'm going to use my friend in Winnipeg. She went through the express entry routes. That's how she came. So the express entry is a management program or portfolio that the government uses to management permanent residence applications. Under the express entry, there are 3 different programs: the federal skilled worker, Canadian experience, and federal skilled trades. She was a federal skilled worker under the express entry.
Okay.
That's basically the most, I need a word, most common.
Okay.
Yeah, the most common program that people usually go and apply under. So she applied underneath that. Her application took 6 months.
And then she go to permanent residence.
Some people it takes 2 years.
Yeah.
Some people 1 year.
Yeah.
So it depends. It's very relative on who is handling your application. That's what I always tell my clients. It could be, you live here, right? You live in Canada. You know how it goes. It could be that they assigned your application to someone who has gone on leave or is on maternity leave.
And you just have to wait.
You have to wait until the person is back. It is what it is, you know. So there's no fast routes. There's no fast routes. I don't sell that. I don't tell people that, this is the quickest way.
Right.
Every route is relative to each individual circumstances.
So what's the best way, for someone to get in touch with you, then your services? How does that work?
So the best way would be phone number. We have a business number. We can leave that,
right,
later on, and an email. Emails are quickest because, that gets attended to in like 3-4 business days. And you can also get on the phone lines, place a call. There's a WhatsApp number. And then you can also go on the website. We have a website. You can just directly book a consultant time with me. And that just directly goes to my calendar. And then, we can set up a time to talk.
Your calendar must be crazy though.
Yes, it is. Coupled with
everything, the travel. You're a wife, you're a mom, you're a business owner. Actually, talking about all those things you do, like how do you, I guess, take care of yourself, like relax?
I don't think I ever really do relax. No, because how do I relax? Drinking, honestly. Yeah, going out.
Okay.
We have very active social lives. So.
Okay.
How do we relax? Nobody has ever asked me that question before. I don't know if I want to say what I do to relax on camera. I do a lot of gummies. Yeah.
It's legal here in Canada.
I know, but
Oh,
do
man,
that.
we live in a really, really cool country, though.
I love it.
To be fair.
I love it. Halifax is even the best. Like, it's awesome. You can just do you, and nobody not gonna look at you strangely.
Okay, you're a busy woman, and I'm like just taking your time. So I feel like we have to do a part 2 of this because
agree.
we haven't talked about the cake business. We haven't touched that one. But like before, I'm gonna let you go by asking this question though.
Sure.
You've like moved your entire family to Halifax. You've made Halifax home. And now you're working with all these clients that want to move. What are 2 or 3 things that, people that might consider moving to Nova Scotia, Halifax, what are some things that you feel they should know?
I feel you should have an open mind. You should be open to, perhaps changing career if you need to. Very open. Canada is a place to completely renovate or like change yourself, reinvent yourself. That is what I did when I came here. I would, if anyone had told me that I would become a licensed immigration practitioner, I would be like, oh, no. Completely have an open mind. Canada is a place that allows you to be your true, authentic self. That's another thing. Don't try and like to toe the paths that every other person has told. Try to, decide that, think about it. Is this what I like? You can also, Canada is also somewhere that you can have multiple streams of income. You can work a full-time job and still have your hobby or your side hustle, do it at night. One of my husband's colleagues, she does like bartending and she works in a bank. It's something like Canada allows you to also, not only work full time. Open-mindedness is the best way. Don't be thinking that you have to be restricted in your ways or anything like that. Like open. Just come here with a free mind and you're gonna do great things.
Wow, Duntan. Okay, I know you're about to go to London. Please bring back something for us.
I will try my best. I'll try my best.
I've had a wonderful
There's
time.
a strict
All right,
budget
yes.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing so much, and I'll make sure when we have
have
like
to do
your
the part
contact.
2, right?
We have to do part 2 because then we'll talk about the cake. I didn't even touch the cake business today because like immigration is something that is really, really personal to me.
True.
My sister is in Calgary now,
Okay.
and like trying to get my family here, so it's like so much. Yeah.
I'm gonna help you.
Right. So this one was really, really personal for me, but I really appreciate you sharing, and I can't wait to have you back again.
Honestly, such an awesome person. I love everything about you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, truly authentic.